ears for listening.
No, Grinchy.
What up, boys?
You built me, you can have a fight.
What?
He's making.
We can have a fight.
I already beat you. I'm good. I'm happy.
I let you win, you brick.
I don't give a shit. A win's a win.
I know. I went used to Burmese so I could bait B&W, but it didn't work. Instead, they just sent me a question: why don't I wear a condom?
Hey.
This. Ugh.
Now where's the dog at? Get in here, silly! You little pest.
So you guys know we are live right now.
Oh shit! Really?
Ooh.
Yeah, I told you.
Did you just say we're live?
Yeah, we're live.
I didn't know.
I can't put my dick. Okay, I won't put something on the screen.
I
Oh,
mean,
somebody's already
it's
Invader.
tagged-
Invaders.
It's
We got
tagged
lots of
for
puppet.
it's tagged
no, I
for
don't want
not
puppet.
kid friendly, so you're good.
Oh, so I can't put my dick on the screen. Is what you're telling me?
100 and slot 1 puppet.
That's not adult friendly either, Harris.
I didn't want the puppet.
It depends what you class as friendly.
If you draw pictures on it and make it art, you can put it on YouTube.
Yeah, but for you Americans, I'm not circumcised, so it's rare sight.
That doesn't sound friendly at all. Sounds very unfriendly.
How
All to
you
get
not,
it circumcised.
see, you're not a good Jew. You're supposed to be circumcised as a Jew.
Sorry, but I didn't want
Oh my
some
God,
old white
y'all.
guy to touch my penis.
Oh my god, y'all.
You got
when you were
The man
you got
just
an
told
Ira
me
coming.
live. The man just
Ira
told me
coming.
live. He got me, but I got 860 of them.
So are you trading up, Never?
The what?
You're trading up?
I mean, yeah, well, not on that one. I don't think it did.
I'm just so mad that I didn't beat that black. Like, I had it. It was dead, and I didn't win.
Yeah, the weather's going up against you. Thing.
Hmm?
The weather.
Yeah, the weather sucks for you.
That's true. It does. This is the worst weather for me.
Yeah, it's the best weather for Ryan. Huh?
But that one loss still
Here he comes
counteracted
again.
all of my
The risk.
previous losses.
Same thing. Ira again.
Well, he lost everything that time.
Well, how many slots is he using?
1,
2,
And how many
2,
troops?
1,300.
1357, T11.
Full-
Yeah.
Full sweep in? I'm running my ambition.
I don't
so
think
this
full.
could be
Yeah, it's
fun.
full. It's full sweep in.
Alright.
That's 50 quantum module, 50 roses.
Oh, Ben,
and
he's got a free set DS.
result.
Bit of shit.
Who?
It's not trigger weapon. The one you just had.
Matt?
Yeah, best of shit.
Matt does?
Yeah, it's shit.
All right,
Well, I don't want a
all right,
free
so
PCS.
let's
You kill
actually,
it.
actually do what we're supposed to be doing today. That's Gear Talk, guys.
Hey, this is Grinch's fault. He said nothing this whole time.
What do you?
Hey, we're
That
live.
is true.
You guys are just talking, so I'm letting you talk.
No, you're a bad host.
Oh my god.
What do you mean I'm a bad
Don't
host?
admit it,
And
don't
You're
I
bad
do
host.
have a rally on me, too, by the way.
How you
burn
doing?
me. Please don't burn me.
So, question. Turn this sweeper on. Can you all hear this?
No.
I don't hear anything.
Fabulous.
No.
I can sweep without muting.
I mean, I
We can-
figured that there's not really any downside to trying to live stream, I guess, other than you people going off the rails. But
You
I
people.
mean,
Wow.
yeah, you people.
Whoa.
Hopefully, some people will stop in and ask
Puppet
questions.
coming in again.
I'm pulling.
Puppet's in again.
Got it. I'm gonna kill it. He just lost.
Another invader coming.
Oh my god. Can't get over there.
Reinhardt.
Oh, they're going
I still
hard.
didn't get. I still didn't get hit.
4 seconds for rally.
That's why they coming in hard.
Let me still.
We still won.
How didn't I get?
Dang,
Oh
it.
yeah, I didn't get a goal. 'cause
One
my
of these
fucking system-
days, I'm gonna actually win one of these rallies. But like, I'm trading up massively, but I'm not winning.
There's another Thunder T12.
And Leo decided to end it again, and then another invader coming. Reinhardt.
Is he sending T4 again?
No.
Yeah, we're just having fun.
He's bad. He's just a T2.
Oh. So I'm sorry, Rich. Please don't burn me.
All right,
again.
yeah, let's do this, guys. Let's actually.
Okay, Grinch. How are you, my friend?
Topic number
I'm pretty
one
good.
of Gear Talk. Tier 4 is not cost effective. Don't use it on Reinhardt unless you're an idiot.
That
So,
part.
Grinch, I'm no scared of you.
You should be. How do
A
you
rally and
how do you think people feel about losing to a free to play during
T3 Reinhardt
arcade fight?
again.
I don't know. I cried. I cried.
No,
I can't lie to you.
I
I cried.
lost.
He cried.
Yeah, I cried. I sat there and cried. I still haven't been hit yet. I'm still deep in them.
Y'all really need to work on your wording. Just saying.
Oh no, it was meant how it was said.
Oh, I know you meant it. But that doesn't mean that everyone else wants to hear.
Close
I
your ears,
mean, I'm pretty wide right now. I have like 20 inside.
He's been doing them T works and that.
I mean, I would be impressed, but it's not even close to your record.
Reinhardt again. T3 Reinhardt.
Yes,
You're not gonna get it.
I did.
Oh, you did? Oh no.
Oh yeah, I did.
Jesus.
Well, Grinch, how are you, sir?
I'm pretty good. How are you guys doing?
Doing well, man. We're having some fun.
Orochi.
I have
I can see
PTSD.
that.
Orochi.
Yep,
Yes,
Orochi
I
coming
want it.
in.
Does it have tier 12?
It lost
No.
anyway.
I love it.
Reinhardt.
Did I
T3
not
Reinhardt
get
coming in again.
That's sad.
I think Harris ate it.
I just
No,
lost the
no.
Reinhardt. Now I'm upset.
I took most of the fucking T3 though. No, I took all the T3.
For some reason, I'm not killing it now, and I killed it the first time I probably faced it. So
Yeah, no, I'm going to bring up the trigger build.
Okay. That Reinhardt fucked me up just now. Yay.
Couldn't you guys
Where's
schedule
my-
all
So-
this fun like an hour or two later?
No, so don't give us attitude.
T3 Reinhardt coming in again.
I'm sorry, Grinch, don't hit me.
And Assist Wolf.
Where the fuck did my man map?
Anyways, so how's everybody? We can go ahead and start it off if you want to, Grinch. I mean, we're good. We're
Pump
here.
it.
We're
Yeah, I mean we're live.
Yes,
Hopefully
we
people
are good.
hopefully people will stop in, ask questions. I mean it's like a new thing we're doing instead of pre-recording. We're just gonna do a live stream. Yeah, I don't know what the time frame is like for other. I know a lot of people are online, so this is definitely the time to come
Ira
on and
coming in again.
ask questions, but especially people in BDB that need some assistance.
yeah, for sure.
Hey, Neva, did you get my message this morning?
Probably not. Yeah, probably. I just didn't see it, man. Let me look.
So I went back and looked. Robin is shut down. His second skill, chain, shuts down skills and gems.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but it only works on one.
That's not new.
We were just talking about something as far as like the
And it's not going to shut down preemptive. I mean, it's not going to shut down your
Preemptive activation
passive.
at the beginning of the round. The problem, the only time the chain is better than sleep bomb is specifically versus plasma, because sleep bomb won't block the skill, just blocks the turn. So plasma can still blow up. Chain will block will block quantum blast, but is not as good as Sleep Bomb in general for everything else.
Well, the thing I was thinking about was chain is 60%, and chain can affect the back row.
No, it can't. Chain is one slot front row, same as Sleep Bomb.
One slot.
Dual blades can hit the back row, but it's 30% kill there. And it's random for that second effect. Chain is like dual blades, but higher trigger rate and only one slot.
Yep.
The only skill that like that hits the back row is speed.
Huh. Okay.
They just keep on scouting.
So, what do you guys want to talk about? You want to talk about the events? You want to talk about cast? You want to talk about the new com? What's up?
Sir, you are the host.
We are live. You got to decide what we're talking about, host.
I mean, y'all. I've done.
You're the host with the most.
I have done 14 of these. I know that y'all just kind of go off on the rails. The people.
What?
The
Lim,
people
go off
watching
on the rails.
the people watching YouTube don't see what I see.
Since you're bringing it up, true. Since you're bringing it up and everything like that, as far as that's concerned, let's talk about the events. What do you think about the events? What is your take on the event, Grant?
Okay, so my
Ira coming in again.
Okay.
I think that in the Christmas event, my first video, and the Thanksgiving event video, I said that I wanted more interactive events, not just click a button and wait 24 hours. I do like the fact that these events are more interactive, because let's face it, they are. They're a little bit better than just click a button and wait. I still think they did miss on rewards. I think free to play.
This event sucks.
Yeah, I think free to play and light spenders. I don't think they have lowered the reward threshold enough. And for spenders, I mean, they kind of caught people with this new commander to get them to spend. But I don't think the overall event is good. I mean, I gave it like a 4 out of 10 because I think there's positives, but primarily the rewards is going to be what keeps people playing the game or spending, and I don't think they've hit that mark yet.
Yeah. And this
Because I
event,
think every event is a damn spend event. It ain't like it used to be where you were looking forward to the New Year event. You were looking forward to the anniversary event. Now it's like every other damn weekend, it's something.
What I kill?
I don't know. I
mastered a Reinhardt and then
black.
I got a Reinhardt and right behind it got a black. What the fuck? Okay. Oh my bad. That's pretty good.
Sure, that's my job.
No, I'm sorry, but I do like the event. I do like you said, the interactiveness of it and everything like that. They did entice spenders to get to spend to get that new com, which is pretty cool, but it's a little bit too pricey, if you ask me.
Yeah, very pricey.
Yeah, it's very
They've
expensive.
got one thing in this event that's kind of like almost like impossible to get though. So those chests.
All right. Well, if we want to concentrate on gear talk, you want me to just go ahead and shield up now?
No.
Yeah, that's cool.
No.
All right.
Just don't call out what's coming because no one really cares. It's going to be random anyway. We have no idea what order of defense we're in.
Yeah, just let it hit.
All right. I'll let it hit. That's fine. I was just making sure.
No, how dare you tell him to shut up?
Huh?
Shaman, thou shouldst be.
I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't do anything.
Ben, grab his legs.
Yeah, I'll grab his arm.
But okay.
I'll grab his arm.
But no, as far as like the new com and everything, I do see some potential in there. Obviously, I'm not going to, go into detail with it and everything like that. But there is some potential with this new com. I'll give you that much. I like them. I like the fact that it gives Walker. It gives Walker a little bit of a fighting chance. So I do like that aspect of it. I love his first skill. I pretty much love that combo overall. I do feel like there's some good uses.
I like how they initiated the 5th skill.
Yeah, finally put it in. Finally put it in the fifth skill.
No. Terrible, awful, no good, very bad.
No, that was a good idea.
It's not though. It's not because no, it's not.
For
It's
him,
a terrible
though,
idea. Well, in general, like most people have difficulty playing the game with 4 skills. Like the amount of advice you give to people that they completely don't understand. If you throw another skill in there, there's so much going on as of right now. A 5th skill slot really is way too much information for 99% of the player base, including whales.
True.
Not really. I think the 4 was getting to be boring, and now the way they initiated that 5th skill being that it's the way they did it. Now you have to have S-class comm in order to do it. And you have to get that new comm to S-class in order to do it. Which, I mean, I do like the way they initiated it and brought it to the fold. I could get around with the way they did it. Now, as far as you choosing the 5th skill or anything like that, I think that would have just been broken. So I like the way they did it.
The way they did it, yeah. I agree. Choosing a 5th skill would be broken as hell. But, yeah.
Right.
Hey, yo, I hope you don't mind if I dip in real quick.
Hey, yo, what? We're all gonna ignore the well in the room and go, Lem, why are you gonna quit? You don't like Fire Awakening?
Oh yeah, you bitch.
I mean, you can only get 3 though. So
no, you can get for now.
That's what I said.
Hey, yo, what up with y'all boys? Let me jump in here real quick. What up with y'all boys, man? It's your boy, nigga. Yo, shout outs to everybody in this bitch, motherfucking. Shout outs to Grinch, Neva, Dar, Arc of Bane, 406. Who was else in this motherfucker? Harris. And shout outs to the boys, Lem. I ain't seen y'all in a minute, but
What's up, Reggie?
what's up with you? What's up with you?
What's up?
Just showing love,
Is that
man.
guy?
Yeah, I was just showing love because I was talking to Grinch the other day and I wanted to make things clear. Like, yo, this is one community. We all here for each other, man. Like, the best thing in this game is the community because, like, how they released this new commander on topic, how they released this new commander, I was kind of weary at first. It almost seemed like you needed the book to level up the skills. And then it's not till you get in touch base with the community. It's like, oh, nah, it's like this, blah, 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 blah. But from face value, this commander looked like it was $900 off rip. It's kind of in that range, and then it's like I think it's like 3,000. Somebody, I think it was Raziel that told me that somebody bought the $100 pack with the 200 cubes. They bought it 30 times just to S-grade this commander, and I was like, bruh. So they instead of creating a new Sun Raven piece, they created a calm. You know what I mean? And it's I don't even know how much it costs to get the commander S-grade and then get the materials for the book to get that skill S-graded, because apparently you can level up that S-grade skill with the books. And
I mean, so I think you're right with
actually
that.
got it.
I think you're right with that aspect. So I will say that I do believe a commander is better than gear. Now we don't know, we haven't had any time to test it. I think this commander could be usable at A class. So I mean, at least lower people can at least have that to look forward to. There's going to be testing, but I like a commander rather than gear, personally.
Yeah, I mean, as far as the first 3 skills that that are open, I mean, as an A class, the commander hasn't been too bad as an A class. Once you get it to S class, it does jump the commander's value up
tremendously.
I think at A class he reminds me of Hancock. No? What do you guys feel about that? Like, you know how Hancock basically lowered the defense? I feel like this commander lowers the damage. He kind of increases the damage taken. So he kind of ramps up a little bit. It's just that Hancock was at 90%, which is a big jump. This commander
the big thing I like about this commander is its ability is kind of like ballet step, except it heals up the whole march. So if you miss, it heals the whole march.
Wait, which aspect is that where you miss and it heals the whole march?
We're talking about the commander, not the ballet step.
Yeah, not the 4th skill.
Yeah.
No, the different gets it.
No, on that passive that it has,
commander.
If you miss a slot, it heals the mark. So he's got to he's got a heal that if he dodges, he heals. But
wait, where's
like
that, bro? Is that a talent?
No,
that's the
Is that a talent, bro? What are you talking about
how
exactly?
that's not how that skill works.
no, that's on the new com.
That's not how that
Nah,
skill
One
that's
of
works.
his
not on the new
passive
com.
skills.
There's no
I think
heal on it.
you've been watching too much of the Galactic Gauntlet thing.
Yeah, it has
Yeah.
a butterfly
That-
effect
That's
in there.
from the
So.
butterfly effect. That's
If
not
that was in
his
the
skill.
passive, that would be absolutely broken.
Yeah, no.
Very
That's
well.
not how that skill works.
nigga.
He said you've
nah,
been drinking too much of the Kool-Aid.
yeah. Nah, to give you a quick rundown of what the first skill does, it's really a very, very robust character. His first skill is literally, as I was telling people, there's like 3 power increases in there. You have the missing troops that boosts the attack. The move itself is a guaranteed hit, and then it boosts his attack a certain percentage. And then in the same skill, it says this cannot be dispelled, and when it's casted, it's stackable, and it increases the damage that all troops on the field take. So increasing all damage of all fields, all troops on the field. Then the move does more damage, and it works off of more damage off of missing HP. There's literally 3 boosters in there. I was comparing him on my stream to like damn near Golem. You know what I mean? Like Golem has 2 skills that ramp himself up. This man has 3 in the first one, and then his second skill. You can go ahead and jump over to the second one. You get a chance. But yeah, his second skill is very valuable. But I think where the full analogy of the Hancock comes in, when Hancock first came out, he had that bubble, where he could absorb a little bit of damage. That's where this commander's S grade skill comes in, where he's going to be able to have like that bootleg Broken Fortress.
It's like Morag.
It's similar,
Morag?
but it's
Yeah.
just so much more effective because a lot of attack comms get neutralized completely with it.
Right. So yeah, I think he's
Actually-
definitely more of an aggressive comp. If you guys ran him against Reinhardt, he doesn't seem like he does well against tanks, but against other offensive comps, he seems to do well.
So I will give a little bit of insight on it and everything like that. So, I'm not gonna, release too much information on it and everything.
Yeah, you don't want to spill the
because we're still in
sauce.
testing phase. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I
don't
will
spill the
say-
sauce.
Secrets.
No,
Some
of course not.
secrets.
I will say that yeah, of course. But I will say that the comm is actually a really badass comm. The first skill is very beneficial, like you said. It does do that ramp up damage and everything like that, which is insane. Plus, it actually does the damage increase and an increased hit. Second skill is pretty decent because it does give you that ability to hit adjacent slots, and it does reduce the effects of damage reduction a little bit. But that main skill, dude, that what makes this comm that's gonna make that comm is that fucking that S class skill that you have to unlock, dude. Because of the fact that you're reducing so much fucking damage.
You
Now, as far as what it can face and things, it has a variety of things depending on how you build it, of course. So
I agree with what you mean about that 4th S-class skill, but one thing I want to see, and I don't know how, I mean, you might be able to test it and give us the information later because you still have it at A-class. I wonder how good this commander is at A-class. Like, is it usable? Because if it's usable and you don't have to have it at S-class, then I think this is a pretty big win.
well, I mean, okay, so think of it this way. Me and you fought just for testing abilities, right?
Yeah.
What happened?
Oh, yeah, no. It's okay. Okay, so
there you go. There's your answer.
So I'm gonna try to articulate this without giving away too much information because 780, like we try to be competitive and keep some secrets to ourselves. But yeah, I did fight Neva with I have an Ira, if you're not aware, and he had A-class. He had built up his gear. I'm not gonna say what it was, but we tested it at what was the skill level? 13, I think, first time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was 13 the first time. And yeah, I beat you the first time because of the way that he deals his damage when it attacks an adjacent slot. I beat him the first time. Now, granted, my gear is not amazing. I'm at T11, but I did beat him. When he cranked up the skill to 60, he annihilated me. I couldn't do anything.
And this is the first skill?
Yeah.
That's first and second skill.
The way he deals his damage was very impressive. I'm not going to
And
show
the
the
way it's scaled
replays,
up.
but I was
one thing
shocked.
I think. One thing, real quick, I want to add to that. One thing I think that in my opinion, I'm just gonna say for what it is. I think one thing that's being slept on, like this commander works phenomenal with dim light. Like, has anyone even dabbled with dim light with this guy? Because literally his first skill that puts a negative effect on everything on the field boosts his own attack. Then you got dim light that says the same thing, that hey, if there's a negative effects on the opponent, you're dealing 30%. I think it's 30, no 20. It's like 20% damage off of missing HP. And you know what I mean? He doesn't need accuracy. He has a 60% guaranteed hit. Dim light has penetration attack, and then the missing HP attack. I think dim light is like the ultimate walker weapon must have. What do you guys think on that note?
I mean, it could be effective in a very particular build for very particular things. As far as I see where you're thinking about with the negative effect being increased and stuff like that. I do see where you're at, where your thought process was on that, everything. I do see that. So I mean, it could be potentially okay with it. It does have that damage that you can use to ramp up and everything like that. So yeah, maybe, probably, yeah, might be a good option.
Well, I think.
All right, so then we'll drive back to the point. Yeah, we'll drive back to the point that Grim was making. Once you got the first skill to 60, it was doing drastically better against the Ira. Could you elaborate?
So
it's like
yeah, when he first hit me, I think I had 50 in slot 1, 50 in slot 4. He killed my slot 1, but I still had like 47 left. And then when he upgraded it to 60, he killed slot 1 and 4, just straight up. And we didn't change anything. So,
and we didn't have a lot of leadership on that. Just we was doing small testing for
it was just small testing. But I
think I had two or three per slot.
Yeah, I think it was. I mean, I can look it up real fast. But yeah, the gear didn't change, the way we organized the slots didn't change, but the damage just increased from maxing out that skill was incredible. And I think I don't want people to remember that this is still a walker comp, even if it's at A class or S class. You have to build walkers to do one thing. Like, if you have the gear to swap it around, you can do that. But still, you have to have, like Reggie said, the dim light. You can build it like that, but it's going to counter one thing. It's the same thing with all walkers.
Right. Absolutely. Great point.
See if I can find that.
Dim light's always
you'd rather have
a utility piece. Dim light is a utility piece. It doesn't have maximum damage. It requires a debuff, which is easily countered in this day and age. And overall, it doesn't have any other bonus stats like accuracy and whatnot. That special effect is only 10%, which is comparably minimal, especially depending on the damage variations of the commanders you use. It could be next to nothing. And it requires a long time for 10% to ramp, which is why it works very well on Stella and almost nowhere else.
Yeah, to further elaborate on that concept, the reason, of course, has never, I think, no, it's Arc of Bane. Arc of Bane was able to go ahead and touch the points that I was getting at. I think it was really great because, once again, the first skill debuffs the entire field. The dim light works off of the debuff, and he starts to hit like Monk. To me, this commander, like I play all three classes. As I'm using this commander as a class, I'm trying to fill him in the role of Monk without throwing back the skill, the debuff. Take that part out of Monk, but keep the part where Monk hits adjacent troops. Keep the debuff. So to me, he's kind of like a Monk mixed with Hancock. That's the way I really look at this comp, because for some reason, he just didn't seem to do well against tanks. I don't know if, like you guys said earlier, if you make a particular build, yes, he'll fulfill that role. But we put Steam Cannon on this guy. We put Mind Map on this guy. We ran him against Reinhardt. That may not be his matchup. That's perfectly fine. It's perfect. There's a ton of comps that are in the meta that aren't particularly great against Reinhardt, but they fulfilled their role.
What were you running on that? What kind of gear?
I was running Hecabalus, Nanto with dual Aldebrons and Tangling.
Okay.
That's like a tank.
Yeah, and I know now that I don't want to put too much sauce out there, that necessarily I ran him too tanky. I think he should have been. And the Nanto was unnecessary. I think there's better options. He doesn't need the 40%. I just ran it because most tanks are running the crit wither with the damage reduction. But when I get the Regulus, yeah, but you see, he does great against offensive comms. I think that's the role that he's really gonna fill. But when it comes against those tanks, like he just really didn't hold up. I don't know if there's a particular setup, but Steam Cannon tear suppression should have been the sauce, against Reinhardt. But I don't know, it didn't wrap up. And so what I'm thinking is to flesh it out. It's dim light Equilus, which is the star jewel, to ramp it up all the way. That's probably looking at 30% at that point of missing HP damage. But what do you guys feel as far as like him keeping himself alive? Can he consistently keep himself alive outside of S-grade?
I don't think outside of S-grade is a viable commander for anything nowadays. It's just not. Other than if you're putting more than 20k lead on an A-class commander, you're just wasting magazines. There's no point.
Unless you plan on S-class later on down the line.
Yeah, 100%. Like at A-class, the viability of the commander is irrelevant because you cannot main it. Period. There is no way to do so.
Absolutely. That's what everybody needs to understand.
Yeah. But you got to remember, and the timing of this coming out is with Cass. And Cass, you really don't run big marches, so actually it's pretty good for it to come out now, and then for you to build up towards the S-class. Being that, it's not going to be a GC com until you get to S-class. But as far as Cass com, you can utilize it.
Absolutely. And on my stream, I talked about a theory. Go ahead.
At utility lead, that's the key word, though. It's not mainable at A-class.
Yes, and that's what I had a conversation with Sir Otter. I talked about it on my stream, and it was pretty much like the overall like theory of how I think this commander should be ran, especially at A-class. That's where it becomes viable. The way I looked at this commander was like, so Otter was like, "Yo, this commander's gonna get one-shotted by Black, right?" And that was just like, yeah, no, that's actually a part of like that why they constructed him this way. He needs to be small enough to be one-shotted so that his S-grade skill kicks in. But he needs to be big enough that he survives the 10% damage that he does take. That's the equilibrium with this commander. How do you guys feel about that?
I feel like there are further testing needed, and you will see in the very near future.
No, he's definitely going to be. The damage is going to vary drastically depending on the enemy. So you can't really guesstimate that. It's impossible to guesstimate. You'll have to do individual testing versus individual commanders. It's going to be completely random in that aspect because a lot of commanders aren't going to hit hard enough to kill you in one hit, and so that skill will do nothing in that sense. It's like Ellie. Ellie always had a hard time with that because her skill didn't actually work because it was infantry. Walkers, however, can tank. So it'll be a balance, but you're not going to be able to be specific about it. You're going to have to do individual testing.
Absolutely. And on a quick note, it's so sad that Saber's weapon came out and it has done nothing for him in the aspect of bringing him into the meta, ain't it? Like I just saw his weapon on the stream and I was
like, man. It's his trigger rate, man. It's his trigger rate. His trigger rates are garbage, dude. Like if they had better trigger rates, then Saber would be I think Saber would be a decent com. But the fact of the matter is his trigger rates are just so low and so garbagey that like what's the purpose in running him? Because you're never going to get what you needed to happen. You're never going to get the effects you need.
If we're going to speak on, sorry, real quick. If we're going to speak on like Saber and stuff, if you're looking at this whole gauntlet thing that they're running right now, please do not see like Saber and Aquilina and go, "Oh, these are great commanders." But they're not. Don't. Just because you're losing to them right now, don't use them, please. They're not good.
Yeah. And what do you guys think about the gear that they were putting on these commanders?
I could bitch maybe viable one day.
Plus 50 high-end gear. It actually sucks in the combination that they're using. It's just when you have massive leadership, there's only so much certain enemies can do to beat you. All you needed to beat the last one was high-level sweet and a decent chunk of leadership. The only reason I got stuck was because my Hancock is 20k. I mean, my Sister Wolf is 20k. If you had a few 100k lead on Hancock/Sister Wolf and basic-ass sweet gear, you can beat them. The gear sets are terrible in that combination. They don't have the damage or survival. The only difficulty is in that massive stats, excessive levels, and the fact that 90% of the players are going to miss and heal everything that they just killed. It's not because the commanders are good or the gear is good. It's just that they're massively overpowered because of the excessive leadership and levels. It's exactly like Endless, where they were trash, but
right.
But
like, we're not all 406. We can't just do the recommended builds.
Wow, let's just throw him on the table.
Yeah, like,
I want to bring something up real quick for you guys. It's so, and it was one of the things I was looking at for like the low spender free to play. We're kind of forgetting something that has really changed, because, and I'm going to agree, we don't main A commanders, but there's a niche that may be able to help, and that's with the the skills that you put on your troop types, like the spread shot and the power of walkers and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Spread shot is basically your S-class walker advantage. You're going to hit everything in the front row. So
are you talking about
if you got somebody like Full Metal who already has the infantry shot, and then you put him in front with Void Skaters or whatever, and you put spread shot on him, he's operating the same as he would as an S-class, minus the fact that you can't transfer leadership to him, like normal.
Well, you could say that, but also if you use power of spread shot, then you can't use power of walkers. If you can't use power of walkers, then you don't have a guaranteed hit, because Kane's blocks your force skill in the first round, assuming you're using a guaranteed hit force skill.
Yeah, you just always got to remember it's a give and take.
Right. But what I'm pointing out to is like you just said, not everybody's 406. So some of us are like, all right, how do I niche something to make me viable? How can I, like, literally, I have a retarded ass Cetalia, but she's got a niche. I have found a way to play her where at least I can contribute more than, say a basic rock or the infantry retard there, Bullet. And that's what I mean, when we talk about these things, it's like I want to throw the option out for, all right, yeah, we're not all 406. So if you're not 406, or if you're not even like Lim, who, he's willing to, jump and get his shit, okay. Me, on the other hand, I spent $200. I bought 450 packs. I got me some coins, and I'm going to find the blueprints that I find are like most usable or whatever. So how do I make my advantage? That's what I would like to kind of see for the other guys too.
Right, but I would keep in mind that force skills do not make non-viable commanders more viable. That is just a bad use of your talents and force skills. The commanders that were good get better. There's very few commanders that, in select circumstances, can become great with the right force skill. For example, Cetalia was trash, but now she's not trash. Still, most people can't effectively use it. And then that's like one example of a commander that's very good in select circumstances, still not a small player con. Generally. That don't go picking random commanders and saying, oh, I can make this useful now with a force skill, when you could get way more use from a mainstay established commander like Sister Wolf. Sister Wolf, 20k lead, best utility commander you will ever find. Her and Hancock. Every player should have one, and they should focus on how to use them effectively, rather than try to run, say, Full Metal with wonky talents. You can, you just shouldn't overall. Unless you're like me and you have 20 different commanders with level 60 skills. Don't do that.
But I mean, the whole thing is to be wary about, or whatnot, is you got your GC commanders that are GC related, then you got your cast commanders, because your cast commanders don't have to be the same thing you're running in GC. Your cast commanders are those that can win with small leads against smaller marches, because think about it, with cast, nobody's sending full march unless you're fucking Harris 406.
That's true.
Me?
Or
Only because I just don't give a shit?
Or Lim talks you into it? Yeah.
Well, we all know that Lem is mentally deficient. Don't listen to him.
Well, that makes me even more mentally deficient because I did listen to him.
Yeah, don't do that.
Hey, and he's had fun ever since then.
Shaking my head. LOL.
Not gonna say I haven't.
But at the end of the day, though, what the whole entire point is, yeah, the talents are good and everything like that. They help out. But if you throw them on the wrong comm, like let's say, for example, if you throw out a fucking kid, you're not going to be any good. Let's be real here. There's no use for him, unfortunately. Or let's say a fucking chief in these days and aspects and everything like that. It's not going to be any good for you, unfortunately. It's just because of the simple fact the game's so evolved away from stuff like that. You can't just throw it on the comm that used to be good and now it's not. Now it isn't. And you can't just throw it on a comm that was never good to begin with. You have to still pick a decent comm. And that's when you're picking your comms, you want to look at a couple of things. You want to look at if it has a guaranteed hit or not. If it has good trigger rate on these particular skills. That's the main thing when you're picking a comm is what's the skill trigger rate and what does the skills actually do. You have to dig into those and actually pay attention to what's going on. You know,
right.
Like,
for example, Full Metal will not have a guaranteed hit and does not have a way to ramp damage or really a way to survive. He has one useful skill, Steam Cannon. The first skill is largely irrelevant. It's nice, but whatever. It can actually get you killed versus select enemies. For example, Reinhardt, that skill is actually the negative. You hit the back row, then you can get yourself blown up by something you missed with Steam Cannon. Which is, oddly enough, ironic. But
can I jump in on one thing?
Because he has Steam Cannon, he can use alternate force skills. So he's not totally useless, but you will have difficulty ramping damage. And there's not very many ways to counteract that.
Somebody wanted to jump in?
Oh yeah, yeah. I wanted to kind of throw a little my 2 cents in on the original question, which was how can we make this commander good at A class? I believe that's what my man was asking.
Okay.
And yeah, one thing that I've done, and you can branch off this right after. I've like I said, I look at him as a Hancock / monk put together, with some cherries and all these bells and whistles. But essentially, I'm looking at absolute suppression, because I was gonna build a sweet Hancock, absolute suppression, and the yada yada yada, right? And then I was like, I see this comp come out, and I'm like, should I move my absolute suppression metals shards from Hancock onto him, throw a sweet set on him, and then watch him do his thing, And then obviously you have the little caveat of having awakening dodge, because this game, when you really think about how battles work out, it's almost like a checklist. If you don't have enough dodge, okay, I'll beat you because I'm ramping up over time. If you don't have enough resistance weaken effect, I'll beat you because I have a sweep set. If you don't have, you know what I mean? Like things like that. You can go ahead and elaborate.
You can't awaken at A class. So if we're talking about effectiveness at A class, that's not an option.
Oh, yeah, my apologies. Thank you for that. But yeah, the sweep set.
Yeah,
the sweep set.
like, I actually haven't even looked at the new skills. If he has a guaranteed hit and a way to ramp damage, then yeah, he could use absolute suppression and speed gear effectively. Actually, he would be one of the better commanders for it.
Yeah, he does.
But then you also have to consider if you're going to push that, if you're going to push it to S class and use it effectively as a main or whatnot, do you want to waste a expensive skill like absolute suppression that you're going to have to move? Because you take that skill to 30, you lose 9 levels. That's a lot of time, effort, and resources you just wasted to switch commanders later on.
Yeah, so, but ideally, it's easy to get those too. So I mean,
it is easy to get, but it's not an efficient way to do things if you plan on switching it about. You want to pick a commander that you're not going to use anywhere else ever again. That it won't hurt to use absolute suppression on, because absolute suppression is just a utility skill. It's not a main skill unless maybe for a DS. Most commanders can't effectively use that, and if you use it, then you lose that 4th skill slot for an effective way to main that commander.
Yeah, and it's just
I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah, it's just I recommend it because it's the road until you S class him. If you just want to put him in your lineup and be like he's actually putting in work, in my opinion, to put the absolute suppression on him, almost as if, like I said, the Hancock replacement. That's how I look at him. I got to run more tests to see if it's as true as it really is. But he ramps up. He has a guaranteed hit. Hancock doesn't have a guaranteed hit. Sister Wolf, he's kind of built like with the missing HP, but I think it's a great way to get him, in combat and use him ASAP because it's not until future events that we're going to see how much are they going to really try to take from us to S-class this com. Is it really going to stay at the price point that it is right now, which is almost $3,000 to S-class him, or is it going to be a few events come out and he's like Zillow Dallas or whatever how you pronounce his name? Are they going to sprinkle him around like Zodilius? Are they going to sprinkle him around like Zodilius, where we're like, oh shit, we can get 60 shards for like $100? Like what the fuck is that? But you know what I mean? Is it going to be that, or is it going to be?
Mm-hmm. My thought is it's probably going to be a sprinkle around. You're going to get it, if you don't get it this event, then it's going to wind up being that, okay, well, you'll need a couple of events to get it, which isn't a bad boat to be in neither, because it's not like you're looking to main him right off the bat. What you're looking for is to get him where he needs to be, so it gives you proper time to test him and figure out how you want to run him. And then later on down the line, when it comes out again, then you can.
Yeah. So we don't even know if this com's gonna be a com that you can main. We don't know what's gonna come down the pipe and everything like that. As far as like if they're gonna release any more comms like an airship com that can fucking just destroy them. Or
right. Also, Fisco.
There's so many different factors.
This is the first commander with Fisco, so it's also walkers, and it's going to require high-level gear to be effective. That's a given. Period. I don't care how effective the commander is. It will require good gear for you to main it. Otherwise, you will just die. And it's not going to be cheap.
It's a walker. Everything requires good gear.
Exactly.
Walkers are expensive.
Like you can use it for utility at A class, whatnot. Keep in mind, most smaller players probably aren't going to bother or shouldn't bother trying to invest in this commander because they won't be able to use it. That's just a fact. Like you can use it as a utility commander, but you will not main it. Yeah. If you main him, you're just going to die.
That's 100%.
That's being specific to small players, not larger ones.
But he is a cool com to look at. I think I made a comment on my stream that I love the way walkers are lined up right now. You have Ira, you have a shitty, beautiful Aquilina, and then you have our new commander here. If you're just looking at the game, there's some progress. You know what I mean? I had made a reference that I think it would be a wonderful thing that if they sprinkle out two more commanders like this, one for airship, one for infantry, and then kind of make it like a deity class. You know what I mean? Like one particular.
Once they release that commander, they have to. The next two commanders guaranteed are going to have fist skills, and they're going to be one's walker, or one's airship, and one's infantry. If they don't do that, there'd be tantrums all over the place, me included. Like they have to. That's not even an option.
And the thing is, I also want them to be used in the same fashion too. Like this com, obviously, like I said once again, I feel his debut is going to be kind of that of a Hancock. Once we find out like officially what's the fourth skill, what capacity can be used in as a utility com, he should have the impact that Hancock did. And what I'm saying is, when they come out with the airship version and the infantry version, I want them to also be useful utility comms. Not necessarily that you have to main them, that they can be used at a lower capacity, and that's what I hope for these archetypes.
But airships have a bad history of being completely useless in utility categories. Aside from DS for like all of 5 months before everyone figured out that you shouldn't use Rangers and Marches anymore.
Right.
Airships have literally zero utility comms right now. Zero. There's no good utility comm for airships. Period. Exclamation mark. And
for airship.
I don't really see that changing. They have the best long-term mains of any troop type that have been significantly effective for longer spans of time. And they still have the most effective overall main, which is black. But they don't have anything for utility right now. Other than maybe Reinhardt, you could say that with absolute defense, but that's hardly utility.
Yeah, but I mean, you almost can't say Reinhardt is utility 1, absolute defense 2, high lead. Utility comms, you're usually not using high lead on.
Right, but like you can use Reinhardt with medium low lead depending on the situation. It's not terrible.
Yeah.
But it's not just slap A class commander with speed gear out there and kill full marches type utility lead. It's not a thing.
No. Can I pick your guys' nose a brain on this? I want to pick the at the higher level. Like, is what I'm requesting possibly more of an arrogant ignorance to where the game should be shaped? Because I honestly feel like what the game needs right now, with all these spender events, I was talking to I think Yoda, or I forgot who I was talking to about it, but I was like, yeah, we need to see a new bullet, a new rock with the capability of bypassing damage reduction like Reinhardt does. Because until we see that, free to play players are just going to go airship, and it's like everybody's playing the same com from early to mid game. We need to switch things up, because in the early game, you do
main airships.
No, you don't.
Period.
You don't think? You don't think so?
No.
I mean
infantry. Period. Everything tier 11 and below should be infantry, and if they're not, they're doing it wrong. Period. There's King, there's Hancock, there's Sister Wolf, there's Ira. All of those are technically infantry with tier 11 infantry. Then you get Puppet and you get Comet Czar, both of whom ignore damage reduction, and one of whom has a guaranteed hit. Both of those are infantry, and they're the most effective damage reduction ignore commanders that don't require you to miss, so they can use tier 12. And infantry have Precise Strike and Vulnerability Detection, the only two talents that allow you to ignore damage reduction, even though vulnerabilities roundabout. Also, they have Purifying Barrage, and they have Power of Infantry, which works particularly well with King and Ira. No other troop type has that capability. There isn't one. The only other commander that effectively ignores damage reduction would be Reinhardt and or LNB. Reinhardt is not really an effective way to fight uphill. You have to be uphill and fight down with Reinhardt. That's the point. It's not a way to defeat tier suppression per se. You have to have high lead and you have to have absolute defense to make it effective. And when you do that, it also takes away one slot bus capabilities. It's a full march solution.
Let me like expand on what I'm saying. Maybe I didn't say it clear enough. What I'm talking about originally, what I said was with all these suspender events, right? They're not giving anything to the small guys. Back in the day, before like Sunraven and before Broken Fortress, the small guys would be able to go, I could send this weenie march, or I could send my bullet just to see what it could do, or I could send my, nobody really was running rock. But what I'm saying is like those comms of like running tier 2 versus, high end players, because it's very hard to motivate somebody to, hey, during your busy day, come log on and bring your level 28 comm, and we need you to constantly just lose as a weenie march. I think it'd be more incentive for a smaller player to be like, okay, I do weenie marches, but I also have a bullet or a rock or a Reinhardt that's now like, better than the versions that we have right now. I think that's what they need to do for the smaller players, because they're doing so much for the higher end. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Now, there's ways for small players to be effective, but they're not going to bring back the ability for tier 1 to slaughter tier 12 in mass. It's not cost effective, and the whales would throw a fit. It's not going to happen. There will never be a guaranteed hit that ignores tier suppression.
I mean, I'm a free to play player, and I'm pretty small still, so like you guys can debate this all you want. What I'm saying is, in a year and 4 months, I believe, in a year and 4 months, I have gotten to T11. I have taken T11 infantry. I've taken the advice of Bane, Neva, and all these guys. I've asked questions. I have an Ira now. My gear, you can ask them. My gear is decent, but it's nothing amazing. It's just generic sweep pen. I don't even have full pen yet. Got 340k leadership, like with my AI, and I'm able to go up against these 400, million power arcs. We just did it last night. And I'm able to beat these people.
To be honest with you, Grinch, we seen you in the rallies, and you did a damn good job, because we watched BDB's rallies and seen the reports. So, I mean, your comm works out for you.
Yeah, like if you ask questions, and I personally believe that you can make some stuff happen like with what Neva and Bane said with Sister Wolf and some of these other commanders. Yeah, you can. But if you are free to play, I think you need to be infantry because I was able to get to T11. Now I had to put in a lot of work. Like I play this game a lot and I was trying to be as efficient as possible. But in like a year and 4 months without spending money, you can get to T11. Like it is possible.
So the overall advice is you don't have to run Rock and Bullet because you can actually run a full version of a comm at whatever tier that you're actually at. You don't have to stay with the tier 2, tier 1.
Yeah, you don't have to. I ran personally based on the advice that I got from like Neva and Bane and Lem and Harris and all these guys. I ran Rock for a little bit, but it wasn't actually doing anything for me. I switched to Vega when I got T9, and anybody that says T9 is hard to get nowadays doesn't know what they're doing. I think I got T9 my 6th month, my 6th or 7th month. It's really not that hard nowadays. I think that they do need to increase the rewards given to new players, but you can get T9 infantry super quick. You can run Vega at T9 and then at T10. That's what I did for a long time. And then I finally hit my T11. I switched over to Ira. I'm a free-to-play 170 million power arc, and I'm beating these people with 350, 400 million power arcs. Like, you can do it, but you got to be smart about what you're doing.
And when you say you're free to play, I'm gonna keep it a buck. Like, I spend a little bit on this game, and I'm actually smaller than you. I'm at 150K between 2 accounts. I'm on both accounts. I'm at 150K. And you said you've been playing for less than 2 years?
I've been playing for about a year, 3 year and 4 months.
Okay, I'm just gonna keep it a buck. No free to play player is gonna reach 170K.
I received 400,000 or 400,000. Jesus, I received $400 worth of rewards from 7 pirates. Like, I'm not gonna say that didn't help. I got all $400 worth in my metaverse coin packs, which is why myself, Bane, Neva, we always say get the metaverse coins. I've only used 300 worth of that, and I used them on.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I got the metaverse coins. I got.
Yeah,
those were the best.
I got $400 worth. I used $300 worth on the UCHC packs and the wormhole crystal packs because I was patient, and I still have 100 left over that I'm waiting to use. But if I have not spent any money outside of what I received from 7 Pirates. And I'm not saying that didn't help. But add on, how much longer would that actually have taken me? Like, yeah, the UC is nice, but you can craft that. So add on 2 more months. So a year and 6 months you can get T11.
Okay, real quick. Is most of your power built off your army?
Oh, hell no. The majority of my power is built off tech.
That's really weird. Because I'm just keeping it a buck because I know there's some.
Never.
Go ahead.
Go to Centicon. I'll give you my coordinates, and you can just look at my arc power. You can break it down.
Let's do that because I definitely know if there might be a free to play player like watching and thinking to himself like 170K in less than 2 years.
296
free to play, even with $400 spent. You kind of out of the. That's not realistic. I don't say that to take shots at you, Grace. I'm just keeping it a buck.
Oh yeah,
because I spent a little bit in this game, and I'm lower than you, and I've been playing for 2 years.
You can ask Neva and Bane. I'm always asking questions. But 296, 298.
I mean, is it possible? Yes, it is possible. I mean, and it's even possible as far as, not being a free-to-play player, but a small spender, because there's certain things you can spend on in this game, like metaverse coins, like the VIP pack. There's shit that you can get for cheap that in the long run, if you keep building it up,
I'm right there.
It's going to help build you up.
There you go. Yeah, that I think that's the more realistic because I just keeping it a buck, man. Like when I would watch Mel stream and I would see some of the oh, you got the coordinates?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm right up there in the top left corner. No, scroll up a little bit. Right, stop. I'm right underneath the 7. Do you see me? Yeah. And I want to give a shout out actually to Tomb that is in here right now. He helped me get Bridge 22. He sent me resources. And if you ask people to help you, sometimes you'll find people that'll help you.
Yes, I think that should be the real message. It's like
my shit is
you
super
could be a
small.
light spender. Yeah, you could be a light spender, and you get with the right team. I talked about my journey when I was like the top 5 spenders on my server. One thing I did is I went back and I helped people get I think it's the Armageddon Hall or the I forgot what hall it was. It was like the one that like basically you could craft, but like it would take a long time. But if if you were spending a little bit of money, you had extra I think it was the blueprints or the the thing to craft. I forget what they're called. I think they're called blueprints. But yeah, I had extra blueprints, so I was able to go ahead and craft things, put it onto the market, and pass it over to a friend who would purchase it off of the market, and then he would be able to craft his ship, therefore making my army stronger. Like my guildmates stronger. So that's the overarching thing. I think you can reach what Grinch has obtained with the right guild, with the right people, and it goes back to what I was saying. The most important resource in this entire game is people. It's not the fucking I just zeroed this guy. Da, da, da. It's we're linked up. We're in the Discord chat. We're making moves. We know who our enemy is. We're getting payback. That's where the true bang for buck is.
Well, the most important thing is not just the people. It's the community. It's all the way around. It's getting on and asking questions. I mean, even if it's your enemy, you'll find people that will help you, or they'll tell you ways that you can beat them if you would do it. There's certain things you could do that So the community's always your big line. The other thing is warfare. Warfare builds you up. I mean, having someone constantly to fight keeps you in the game and keeps you occupied with fighting and whatnot. Just like Melt used to say, peace is bad for business.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one of the greatest sayings of the game right now. I still think to this day, peace is bad for business.
Yeah, I have gotten so much help, not just like from advice from like Neva and Bane, but like I said, Tombs. I think I was stuck on Bridge 22, and he's like, "Hey, how much cash do you need?" And he sent me like 200 million or some shit. And back then, like I was broke, so I was like, "Oh man, 200 million, that's so much." But like, you can find these people that'll help you, but you have to be out there in the community and speaking with people.
Yeah, and don't be scared to ask for help. I mean, closed mouths don't get fed.
Absolutely. And on what I believe it was Lem, on what Lem is talking about also is this game. Let's be real, man. A lot of our I would say long-term friends are frenemies. They started off as enemies, other active players, maybe in a different guild. You bump heads with them a couple of times, you test their mettle, they test your mettle, and then long and behold, never know, guild may fall apart. Now you're in a guild with them, and now you know how reliable they are and their strengths from fighting them. And then that helps you better build out what you're building, like if you're a walker main or infantry main and you're on a planet getting smashed by an airship player, lo and behold, eventually one day you might be in his guild, or he joins your guild, and you're seeing that what he's losing to is something that possibly that you can beat. And if you time it properly and you coordinate, you can go, hey, you're bigger than me, but I'm big enough to mess with that guy that's messing with you. And hopefully that's a real role that you fulfill, and it strengthens the relationship between friends, frenemies.
Oh, and I mean that's another thing a lot of people are lacking in this game is coordination. These big guilds like EXE, TMB, they have figured out the coordination part, and that's on all levels. That's not just fighting levels. That's anything from fighting to growth, you name it.
100%. And I kind of want to go back on topic of the show itself, Gear Talk. Has anyone actually said out loud, what is the effect of the Strider boots and the Strider weapon when they're combined? I heard it was.
It's 15. I believe it's 15% if you dodge. I think it's 15%. If you dodge an attack 15% of your troops will revive. And I think that counts for all 6 slots. So any slot that they missed will heal.
Yeah.
Okay, so like if Awakening goes off and it missed a couple of slots, those slots will heal also.
Yes.
I believe so.
It is a
Okay,
worse version of Ballet Step.
Yeah,
there you go.
It's
Pretty much.
Yeah. It's a fucking broken version of ballet stuff. It's fun though.
Absolutely. Yeah, thanks for sharing that knowledge out there to the community, because it was kind of hard on my stream to get somebody to actually say what those two things actually did together. And it's only a one effect. There isn't like a multiples like we have with the Sun Raven.
Nope, just
the one. Just the one.
Just the
And you have to
one,
have
just
both-
the one
you have to have
effect,
both
and that
pieces.
might have been what confused me with the new com, because they have the Strider stuff on it, and that's what.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Since it's called Gear Talk, I'll just say I don't think that gear set is that phenomenal. I thought as soon as I saw it, one of the commanders that came to mind was Iron Fist Craig. But then again, Iron Fist Craig with his main weapon and then the infantry advanced weapon, I forget the name of it. I think that still beats out what this new set can provide.
It depends on the enemy. Dodge has very select uses where it's obscenely useful. For example, versus Black, that would be great. Versus King and Ivra, that would probably help. Because, I mean, you dodge, but I believe that effect kicks in after their skill hits you. So, assuming you're tanky enough, it would actually be very good. Plus, the pants are just OP. You get the full damage reduction, massive dodge, and sweep. The highest sweep percentage of any other pant. Actually, I think it's higher than the Rabbit Ears, or it's close to.
No, it's a little bit lower. The Rabbit Ears is 60.
It's like 50 to 60,
50.
I believe. The pants are 50. So, very good pants by themselves. Like, if you just wanted that for a specific build, as opposed to that and the weapon. The weapon has its uses, and it would be great on Craig versus select enemies, particularly ones that don't have guaranteed hits, like Black. But it does lack crit wither, and it does lack HP. Well, it doesn't really lack HP. It lacks crit wither, so that's a weakness. So it would depend on whether or not you can tank without it.
Yeah. If you highlight the I don't know is it Neva that's on the screen? But if they go over the Iron Fist Craig's weapon and they go over the advanced infantry weapon, the one that basically says every
Marak.
time I think there you go, that weapon. It brings the original damage down to 1%. And I'm just like, God damn, bro. Like that's that effect.
It's every other turn. It's every other turn, and it doesn't count for the first one. So it's the damage you do in the first hit, then gets reduced for the next hit, and then it resets.
Yeah.
So it's not that great. It is very good in select circumstances, and it does help Craig a lot. Craig with the Rapid Stars and Marak / Iron Fist Craig's weapon, which I never remember the name of, is a very solid build.
Yeah, and the reason why I like that weapon also so much, just to add on top of everything we just listed, was the infantry drool that I always mix up the name. It's Perseus or it's one of the damn P's, right? But basically the one that says it was Broken Fortress before Broken Fortress, where you get 100% damage with Pisces. There you go. So Pisces plus that infantry weapon, the Marak, Wings of Eternity on Iron Fist Craig or however people are running them. Those things are just such great when they compound. It's like you literally have to have somebody that has damage reduction to really get through to these comms. Because let's say you go ahead and proc the Pisces, you take the hit, but you have the infantry weapon. Now the next slot right next to you is going to take 1% of the original damage. And if that slot, does this thing, takes 1% damage, upcoming slot procs Pisces. It's like literally you have Broken Fortress almost permanently. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's a really great situation. I think that infantry are in where they can actually tank a little bit more effective than some of the other classes in the game, or at least Iron Fist Craig can.
Pisces has issues. The main issues are, first of all, Steam Cannon will remove it. Mind Map will probably, I believe, remove it. If not, transfer it. Formula will ignore it.
Yes.
The 10%, which it would versus anything else. And Awakening will clear it. Like, it'll take the hit from Awakening. So the chances that you actually get the main hit damage reduced to stack with Marak are actually very low, besides the trigger rate. And it doesn't stack, so you can only get one trigger of it at a time, whether you have wings or not.
I think I broke TMB.
No, but you have the main component.
The stats are low on the
Well,
gens, so it's not overly used for that, and it also is ignored by Mind Map, Mind's Eye, what's the word? Matrix firing, stuff like that, and Tier Space will ignore it.
But of
it
course,
has many weaknesses.
Yeah, in that same build, you have high dodge, though. That's the caveat. You know what I mean? They have to actually hit you, and then you have all these damage reduction effects. I think it allows infantry to tank like really, really well.
Yeah, it would work well with high dodge, yes, but also you get diminished effect in that sense as well, because if they miss you, it does nothing.
No, but what I'm saying is they have to have accuracy to even touch you, and then when they do touch you, you know what I'm saying? You have all these damage effects. You have the Pisces. You have the infantry weapon. It's just a great situation, is what I'm saying. Before, back in the day, as an infantry, like you get hit, bro. Like that whole field can get wiped. Like Dragon Slayer was ending careers forever. You know what I'm saying? It's just good to see that we have a little bit more padding. Like it might not be a crit wither or HP, but we have some elements on infantry that literally you can say, oh, I'm going to send my tank comp, and it's actually an infantry comp. It's not like infantry's only thing is dodge, is what I'm saying. It's really great for the game, in my opinion.
Right. Craig is pretty great, other than the fact that he makes other infantry look like trash when they try to fight him.
Yeah, facts. Yeah, but what the status loss, I feel, is like, all right, so once again, the topic of this show is gear talk. I think the perfect weapon to bring back, not even a weapon, a headpiece, to bring back baby girl elf. I know the Walker mains they're percolating right now. Like, oh shit. But would be a fucking headpiece with HP, damage reduction, accuracy, and the effect that says curse will increase damage based off of missing troops. Just that. Just put that shit in the game, and baby girl elf is back. But
right, but then baby girl elf is beyond OP and nothing beats her.
What do you mean?
I mean, HP as well as damage reduction in the helm is OP to start with. There are no HP damage reduction pieces, I don't believe, and if they are, they're medium low percentage. So if you were to say max that or make it an effective level, it would be OP because a lot of survival. Secondly, you won't get 3 stats. You'll get either 2 or just 1 in a special effect, generally. If you get 3 stats, that's also OP with the special effect. And then a skill that hits all 6 slots and ramps is also OP on a commander that is already pretty tanky, solid, and hard to beat in general. It would literally be impossible to beat other than 1 slot plus black at that point.
Well, the reason I bring that up is because we're in the attack meta. And if you invest in defense, you know, it's not going to look pretty for you. And that's the only way that I can feel that they can bring back the defensive meta, or not even a defensive meta, kind of balance things out. Because right now, it's 100% the attack meta. I don't think anybody can debate that.
It depends. Like, Craig is still 100% tank meta. Elf is still tank meta. Satalia is tank meta. And now they're using black as a tank.
Yeah, but you know, we all know Black's not really a tank, though. We know what the deal is. That man hit like a truck.
No, but in essence, it's still running highly tanky gear that a lot of commanders can't actually do any damage to. It's
but I'm saying
technically still tank.
You look at the GC matches, like is GC happening right now? I don't think so. But like when you look at the GC matches, what's happening right now? There's really no tanks. Yeah, baby girl elf is in there every now and then. Iron Fist Craig is in there. Though we have 2, like you said, Sitalia. I thought she was more of a tank killer. Like she's not really she's running more offensive gear.
She has to run 4/5 tank gear to be effective, generally.
Okay.
She's solid. She doesn't work unless she's solid.
Yeah, but it's just that when I think about Satalia, you know, I dabble and I definitely took note from Neva, who's kicking. Am I speaking to Neva right now? Who am I speaking to exactly? I'm not looking at the screen. It's Lem, right?
Pain. It's Bane.
Bane. Okay. Arc of Bane. Bane. Yes, thank you, brother. I remember you. Sorry, I just was looking at the screen. But yes, Bane. Yeah, I looked at how you know, Neville was running it, and I don't mean to put his stuff out there. It's just the chest piece, the weapons, and the helm were not tanky. And he was. I saw his reports. He was beating literally everything that was in 50 gear, and I think he had like 45, 47. And he was whooping the elves. He was whooping the Reinhardts. He was whooping I think
Orochi was in there, but Orochi's, he's on his way out.
Technically it is tanky though, because Chanlang and Broken Fortress both have penetration, but they're tank pieces. It's 6% damage reduction and 50% base HP. Those are tank pieces.
There you go. That's
penetration.
There you
go.
That's where my discrepancy was. I didn't consider Tangling a tank piece, but yes, if you put it in that light, yes, then you're right. Okay.
The Formula is the 1-slot bust and Ruthless. Tangling is still tank. You could use it in 1-slot bust builds.
Wait, Reggie, I have to ask, why don't you class Tangling as tank piece?
Because it just didn't. It didn't click like that. Because look, it takes away a little bit of defense, but what is defense when everybody's running penetration, right?
That's negligible.
Yeah, but how is it not a tank piece?
Because look, for me, I didn't consider basically if what you want to say is that all you need is damage reduction to be a tank piece, then yes, you're right by that margin, by that respect. And we could look at what's it called? Lucky
Every
Naughty.
tank runs that headpiece.
Yeah, so Elf was a tank. It was Tang. Mm-hmm. Tang was the Elf piece for the tank build 3-4 seasons back. It's always been a tank build.
No. All right, look. What you're saying, it definitely is. I just didn't view it as that. Until he said that, I was like, okay, you're kind of right. But I really didn't view it as that.
It is part of the old V1 penetration build, but that's because the penetration had ish.
V2, V1 is
back when Tinlang was kind of easy to get, and you'd use it with roses. I'd still call that V1. Either way, it's still base 6% pen, which is the highest percent pen of any helm that's effective. So technically it is half 1-slot bust. But if you compare it to the other pieces of the day, it's still solidly in the tank category.
Yeah, absolutely. Because when you said that statement, I thought about it, and the first piece that came to mind that that solidified the statement was Lucky Nodding. If you literally take off of the trigger rate effect, it's just a fucking damage reduction headpiece, but it's still really fucking good. So I was like, okay, he's right, because just even the damage reduction on a headpiece of that margin, if it's a low enough stat, like you look at Holy Grail, that's not really going to do it for you. But when you have it of the margin of Lucky Nodding and Tangling, yes, that damage reduction can make a big difference.
You got to kind of understand it you got to try and understand it from the equation point of view, right? So if you look at it, defense will be broken by penetration. Damage reduction does not get broken by penetration. So, I mean, you got to look at it from the standpoint of the equation, the actual equation to it. Now, there's ways through damage reduction. Don't get me wrong. But penetration, not the way through damage reduction. So everything in this game is based on an equation. So you got to figure out the equation, and you play around with the equation of it. Because things get added in at certain times, things get taken off at certain times.
Right. But I definitely think that headpiece that I was saying earlier about what's it called for Elf would have been freaking phenomenal. If anything, take away the accuracy and just HP damage reduction and that one effect. Let me get you guys 2 cents on another topic that's very similar to this one. I was looking at some replays, especially the one I was talking about with Nevis Italia that was beating up on
Reggie.
Yeah, go ahead.
1 second.
Yeah.
Just before we can do this last topic, that's fine. But we are gonna have to end it after Reggie asks this question because we still have pit my arcs and stuff to do.
Oh shit! Okay, my bad, G. No, I was just curious. I'm literally working out and
that's fine.
asking questions. But all right. I think the most important thing, if I was to end it on something, is not really the 2 cents thing that I was talking about. I was gonna compare Elf with Lucky Nodding to get more heal, but I think Harris was like, "Yo, she does no damage," and I was like, "But what I'm seeing when I see Elf lose a lot, and there's even an Elf in if you go to All Stars, there's a guy in the top 3 of All Stars who's using, instead of Tangling, he's using Lucky Nodding with the Hecabalus, so that Elf gets her heal more often." Because when I see Elf get picked apart, it's because one or X slot, maybe slot 3 or slot 4, whatever slot, just did not proc heal. And that gives the person the leeway to go ahead and plow through Elf. So
You're going to time out. That's what you're going to do. It's going to be timeout because you don't have enough damage. So you're going to be relying on tier space more than curse because you won't have any damage with curse. So you're going to time out with most other tanks, and it'll come down to who has the bigger AI. And if you both have max AIs, then it's going to be, whoever lost a few more troops because no one's going to lose anything once you go immune. It's essentially just going to time out.
As it is, you're still playing the same game everybody else is playing, and that's trigger rate. You play the game with trigger rates. I mean, sometimes you'll have crappy ass trigger rate. Sometimes you'll have good. I mean, fuck, Bane runs freaking Stella. I mean, sometimes she triggers, sometimes she don't.
Yeah, absolutely. And my take on it was
does.
but when she does. But no, my take on it was that do you guys think that possibly and once again, this is just me being curious. I haven't ran the numbers. I'm just curious. You guys have far more battle experience. I don't ever speak as a true veteran. I speak as a person I have the knowledge of the game, and I'm just waiting to where my account I can actually play it and not look at matches and be like, oh, I lost because this event didn't come around for 7 months and I don't have Lucky Notting yet. You know what I mean? Like that type of shit. So what I'm saying is, I was thinking, my thought process behind this was like, okay, once again, increase the trigger rate so Elf can heal, and those slots, it'll be much harder to plow through the slot that didn't proc heal. But when I take off the tangling for the Lucky Notting, if I was to replace it with the Star Jewel that takes off the 60% damage reduction, like the little Vega one for walkers, you don't think that would kind of bring me in the range of what how much damage reduction that tangling was providing?
The damage reduction is the same. Nodding and Tangling have the exact same base damage reduction. The difference is penetration versus trigger rate. The trigger rate is useful in a survival standpoint, but it really does nothing for your damage at the high end. Like I run Lucky Nodding Assault Shields on my elf. My elf is 200k. It works great for All-Star and whatnot. It's just for sim battles. It's not for PvP because it does not kill anything. It is a tank that works well in a full march, but it loses to anything bigger than it, and it does no damage. And high end, it does even less damage without pen. If you don't have pen, you do 0 damage other than tier space. It's
and that's with
all there is to it.
And we're always running Elf with Equilus, correct? Like we're running Elf with Equilus, a 1 guarantee hit Star Jewel, Canes, Cassiopeia, and then I was assuming Hecabalus, possibly making a change to the Lucky Nodding for the headpiece if I could make that work. Because
you can make it work, but you're not going to win. You're not going to win versus a wider variety. You will have no damage, so it will come down to whether or not you have more leadership and survivability than the enemy. Which, the smaller you are, the harder it is for that to be effective.
You still got to look at it. No matter where you're at on this game, you're always playing matchups. There's nothing. This game is no longer I build and I got the one com that nobody can beat. This game is all about matchups now. Everything can counter everything.
Grinch, you can take it away. Thank you for that, guys. A novice with a curious question. Thank you for answering that.
Yep. Yeah. So I mean, we do have other things we need to do. Does anybody either in the chat for the live stream or here in person have any last minute questions you want to get answered this week? I mean, if not, we can always do it next week as well. But no. All right. All right. Well,
I want to know why TMB ain't sending.
Well, maybe it's because I'm in Centicon. They're scared of the free to play.
They don't like your name, Lem.
All right. I mean, yeah. If nobody has any more
took one look
questions,
and didn't want to catch what you had.
yeah. If nobody has any more questions, Harris, Bane, Ronan, Neva, if you guys want to do any closings, you guys can.
No, I'm good.
Death to all.
Hit me, TMB. Hit me. Come on.
All right. I think Neva's probably good too. All right, everybody.
All right,
Thank you
I'll say
for
one last
showing
thing.
up. Oh, yep. Go ahead.
Okay.
Oh, you're good.
No, I was gonna say, it's a beautiful thing. Shout outs to the Arc of War community. It's a beautiful thing that we can be in a Discord like this with what looks like well over
maybe 50. I'm not looking at the full list, but like easily like 14 people in here, discussing the game at every spectrum, and not shooting down any questions. As you viewers are seeing, nobody's saying, "Hey, that's a dumb question. Hey, why are you talking about this?" We're openly talking about things that people are curious about. We're talking about the gear. We're putting information out there that should, be useful to players at all spectrum of the game, and hopefully inspire people to see that, yo, we play Ark of War, and we're like 14 deep in this chat. Like, get linked up with your community, get in the Discords, and be a part of Ark of War. That was
All
it.
right. I appreciate everybody that is here today. I know we got one person in chat, Tim Holland. Thank you for your questions. I was able to answer that along with Sevi. We will discuss internally if we want to, do live stream again next week, or if we want to do videos. There's kind of like a test version. I'm not going to guarantee anything right now, but I appreciate you guys showing up. If you have questions in the comments, you can go ahead and leave those, and we will get them answered for you, either in the comments or on next week. I appreciate, Bane, 406. You didn't really talk much, but you never do. Ronan, Reggie, Neva, thank you guys for showing up. And until next time, I'm the Grinch, and we're out.
Deuces.
Laters.
Thanks for hosting,
All
Grinch.
right.
Can I be heard, bro?